for people who are below the poverty line, because we have instances, for instance, I'll give the example of the minimum requirement for opening a bank account. CBN regulations say you must have a phone or phone number. Many of the people that actually require virtual wallets don't live in areas, I mean, this is where we haven't cracked yet. Don't live in areas where we have energy, where we have reception, you need energy to charge the phones. And even where you have energy and you have reception, many of them, you give them the phones, they just sell them unless there's value coming through those phones. So we've been pushing, for instance, that government or CBN should consider making the NIN number the minimum requirement. And because we have so many fintechs and so many bright people, that they can actually try and explore how we can get money to people in those remote areas. They really need to get this money in a very private, very secure manner, because as Yinka would know, in the financial inclusion space, when you pay cash, which is what we do with the cash transfers, there are a lot of people that hover around, and they know, the husbands know that the women are getting this money. The children or the cooks get their monies through maybe the phone numbers of their counselors or their husbands. They get the alerts. The women don't know. So there has to be a meeting of minds. The public sector and the impact investors should really approach the public officials that actually can help with policy. And that will enable us, really fast track on the SDGs. I actually belong to a group called Catalyst 2030. By their own calculations, this is an international thing. They say we won't attain the SDGs in the world till 2098. So we need to bring it forward. And there's a lot of interest on how to support various countries to attain the SDGs. We need to do so much. We need to, adopt tools that are more robust in terms of measuring poverty. So the indicators align with the SDGs. We need to get the homes to accept or adopt scorecards, or states to adopt scorecards, and get everybody to work towards measuring how far and how fast they can attain the SDGs. Thank you.
Thank you for that. So we have 1 minute for the comments, and then we're going to have to go into questions. So anyway, can I see a hand just to see if we have some questions? Okay, so someone please take a mic around so we can get ready for questions. One last comment, and then we'll go into questions. Please go ahead.
Okay, so what I just wanted to add was she's spoken from the perspective of the government and what the government is doing. And I think this government is doing quite a bit in trying to channel, interest outside of the main centers. But on the side of the private sector, I think one of the fundamental important things that we need to recognize is that in order to make things work in our continent, we have to have people who are long-term oriented. You have to have, we can't deal with the issues we have if we don't put on a long-term mindset. I think having more investors, businesses that see things more from a long-term perspective and not from short-term cycles, you find that those kind of investors explore beyond the traditional markets that we go into. And I give a good example. We have an investor, we have a company or a guy that we invested in who runs a school in Sokoto. This was a guy who was exposed to fundamental extremism and was very involved in a lot of the activities that was causing security troubles for us as a country. And he approached us, or we've, found him through our entrepreneurship program and invested in him. And over a short period of time, he had set up a school where he was training and developing a lot of the young people who were exposed to radical Islam and getting them to see the right perspective. And as a result, a number of those people have come out to become better contributors to society, and he has experienced additional funding from a lot of international donors, and his school has grown beyond most schools that you have in Sokoto at the time. My point is, if we don't have a long-term view that, I may not see the short-term return of this investment that I'm making right now, but I can see that there is an opportunity, even in those areas that we call poverty-stricken areas, because there are fundamental needs that they have, there is an opportunity to make investments, stick with it over the long term, and then you will see returns come through.
Thank you for that. So patience is definitely key when it comes to impact investing. Thank you all so much for such a great panel. We're going to go into questions as we only have about 5 to 10 minutes left. So is somebody going around with the mic? Okay, I see a few hands up. Let's start over here with this lady over here. Please tell us your name and kindly get straight to the question if possible. Yeah, use this one.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. My name is Lydia F. Young, and thank you so much for your discourse. And my question borders on basically.
Who's the question for?
Okay, it's for Sam.
Okay.
Sam, yes, exactly. So here's the thing. My company is less than 5 years old, and I'm the partnerships director. Now, there's a problem that I always encounter when I reach out to brands for partnerships. Now, basically, we work with startups. Now, we are not a Ford Foundation where we can take on their risk, right? So we have to reach out to foundations like yours to partner and actually do things together that will bring about a greater increase in impact investment. Now, what are the chances that we have? Because basically new to the industry, I have had a lot of no's. I have more no's than yeses.
I'm so sorry, dear. Can you get to the question?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, thank you.
So my question is, what are the chances of partnerships that we have, like a smaller firm and a bigger firm? Please, thank you.
Look, thanks a lot for that question. So just to answer it very quickly, there are opportunities for partnership as far as we are concerned, and I know a number of the NGOs you have in the market. I know Ford does a number of things, and a couple of the other NGOs, the major international NGOs that you have in the market. But there are opportunities to partner with you. What we have done specifically is we have created a platform. The platform is called TF Connect, and you can check it out, tfconnect.com. And on that platform, what we've done is we've brought together, entrepreneurs across the continent, mentors who are helping to guide these entrepreneurs to do better business, which you may fall into, financiers who are looking at opportunities on that platform and engaging with those entrepreneurs directly to fund those investments. We also have on the platforms a networking opportunity where all the entrepreneurs and the mentors and all that can network with one another. And on an annual basis, we try to do a forum where we bring all these parties together here in Nigeria, and we are looking at other parts of the continent where you can interact more. So there are platforms to do that. The point I'm making is that there are platforms for partnership. You can reach out to tfconnect.com and you will see there's a lot that you can do there.
So tfconnect.com, just check them out, and I'm sure there's something that can happen from that. Can we get, a question? We have a question over here. Can we get the mic over there, please? Any of these gentlemen is fine. Please state your name, who the question is for, and a brief question, please.
Good afternoon. My name is Gabriel. My question is directed to Madam Miriam. I think if we want to be realistic with ourselves, looking at where we're coming from the Millennium Development Goals into the SDGs, the countries, about 72 countries that achieved the MDGs or kind of reach a minimum or a greater target for the MDGs, if we look at how they fund their development, it was largely not donor funding, it was government funding. We want to see countries like Ethiopia, Bangladesh, or Mozambique, and some crazy countries like that. They all, I'm so sorry for saying crazy countries, but they all reached good stage. And looking at what Professor David Way said, it goes beyond business case. If we really want to achieve these SDGs, we have 17 goals, 169 targets, and several other indicators